And AI, start the summary. Hello, beautiful people. This is Miss B, the goddess of empathy, and I am here with author, screenwriter, movie producer, mother, HIV advocate, and also, more importantly, friend, Chiron Jones. Welcome, Chiron.
Hi, thank you. Thank you
Thank you.
for
I'm so happy
welcoming
you're here. All right. So
me.
I'm just gonna give the audience or give the people a little bit of background about how we met or how we became to be friends. Many years ago, I had custody of my sister's children, and my niece and nephew used to go to the after school program. And my niece came home. She was like, Miss Chiron, this, Miss Chiron, that. And I was just a little jealous. I'm like, who is this lady just stealing my niece's heart? So then after, picking my niece up from the after school program, and then we met and we just started, we were just friends ever since. And how long ago was that, Sharon? Oh my gosh.
Over 20 years ago,
Over
way before social media.
Oh wow, way before social media. Wow. All right, Sharon. So tell us about yourself. Tell the people who don't know you about you. I didn't give you enough justice, but tell us about yourself.
Well, you gave me just enough justice, and I just love to hear that story of how we met. Um, and I'm sure we'll get the talking about, many other topics, but it I'm Sharon Jones. Originally from Brooklyn, New York, made my way to Albany, New York, where Bernadette is. I resided in Albany, New York for 10 years.
Mhm.
I'm now in Georgia, where I've been residing for 12 years now. And since being in Atlanta, I've been able to accomplish and create, many beautiful pieces of art, visual, audio,
Yes.
written. And I do owe a lot of my beginnings to Albany, New York, because that is where I started my advocacy in Albany, New York. Um, I guess it's okay to drop names, right? um, as you know, me and Bernadette, we have known each other for 20 plus years, and it was at the start of my activism with SADACA, Capital District African American Coalition Against AIDS, that was headed by, I believe his name was Arthur Butler.
Yes, Arthur.
Okay.
Yep.
And Vanessa, is it Williams?
It
Vanessa
wasn't you.
Johnson.
Yes,
Sorry,
Vanessa Johnson. Yes,
Vanessa
yes,
Johnson.
yes. I'm taking it back.
And yeah, she's now in DC, leading a lot around the world. And maybe in the future we all can do something together. Wouldn't that
That
be
would
nice
be
to meet
wonderful.
you?
That would be
Yes,
wonderful, Sharon. And that's
that
one
was,
thing. You've
yeah.
always, intentionally or maybe not intentionally, you've always kind of pushed me to another level. You've never said, Bernadette, you should do this, Bernadette, you should do that. It's just that your example. I can remember when you started doing your advocacy and when you started I Know Awareness, educating HIV with care, not fear. And I remember thinking, oh my gosh, you're so brave. I could never do that. And then
Aw.
just through the years, just watching you go, and I was like, okay, she can do it. She's okay. She's
Mhm.
talented. So I would not be a person to say out loud, I am living with HIV, is it if it wasn't for you. And I want to thank
Mhm.
you so much for that. Thank you. Thank you. So before I start
You're
crying,
so welcome. And
thank
I thank you because you may have been like my first friendship with a person as well, living with HIV.
Yeah.
And, back then, um, they did have support groups, and but it wasn't, I really didn't, oh gosh, I don't want to
Yeah, I
shun
know.
anyone out, because
Yeah.
I did make some connections,
Yeah.
in some support groups. I made some connections,
Hmm.
and but the connection I made with you, and it was, before we even discovered that we both were living with this medical condition.
Yeah.
And once I don't even remember how that even happened. That's why I like hearing like how we met and everything, because I be forgetting things.
It
So
was, I don't know if you remember, you told me, because I'm a pack rat, but I was reading the Pause. You said you saw the Pause magazine in my car.
mm,
Yeah. And then you asked me, and I was like, yeah. But I can remember, and
mm,
there were things that I struggled with, with dating and stress, and I would call you, and you would just know, you just knew the right things to say. It was amazing. You was like, well, try this, well, do this, and you would always say, don't be so hard on yourself. Don't be so hard on yourself. Like, yeah, she's right. She's right. Wow.
well, thank you again for that memory.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So tell me about, because I recently moved, so all my stuff is packed. But I had a little section on my bookshelf with Sharon's book, her movie, her DVD, and in the back of her book, her memoir that she wrote, is all of her accomplishments and all of her accolades and all of the work that she's done. And it's Sharon goes so far. Were you a budget intern? Not the budget intern, but you've advocated on the state level.
Yeah, I
You
did
have
my
been,
my
yeah.
college internship at the New York State Assembly. And,
Wow.
I would like to tell the story of,
Yes.
how that came to be.
Yes.
I was attending Bryan and Stratton College, um, and I seen the poster on the wall for interns at the New York State Assembly. And I seen the intake coordinator name, Ron Canistrani.
Mm-hmm.
And he was, I believe, a senator or a representative,
Yeah, he was
and
a big wig politician.
yeah, and
Yeah.
he was also a regular at the Albany Damien Center, which is another place I was going to name drop as
Yeah.
far as my very beginning of getting involved in HIV advocacy. So when I seen his name on there, and I'm like, I just remember just spending so much time with this man and his dog sitting on the couch. And I said, I sent the email,
Yeah.
call right away,
Yeah.
because my school wasn't as supportive as far as linking us to employment and the internship opportunities that they promised, like most private schools, very expensive private schools.
Mm-hmm.
They do promise you a lot, but they don't really deliver. But
Mm-hmm.
it was great that I had, familiarity with him, and it happened. I called, I expressed my interest. I told him I was a student, and it's and I'm interested in my internship, and I completed the applications, went to orientations,
Yeah.
was placed with three different senators, and,
Wow.
sat through budget hearings, and that interests me to just
Mm-hmm.
sit there and listen and watch their body language
Mm-hmm.
and take notes. That just always interests me, to just watch people
Yeah.
and and to write, and that's still something I continue to do.
Yes. And you are author, so how many publications have you written so far? I lose count. How
Yeah,
many?
I had to recently count myself, and as of now, I'm working on my 12th book. that I will be releasing
Yes.
April Fools.
All right
And
now.
when you hear the name of the book, I don't know
Yes.
if I should say it. You want to think, oh, that's a joke, but no, it's real.
Yeah. Yeah.
These are some of the books right here.
Wow. Yeah.
Always reach out to me for an autographed copy, and I
Yes.
can do a bookmark and a pen as well.
Definitely.
So, you can reach out to me, iknowareness.com, or you can find me on social media and just shoot me an inbox. But
Awesome.
yes, the next one, I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna let it out just because you're so special. You know,
I,
I'm gonna go ahead and release because I never told anyone that
this is
the
an
title
exclusive. My
of
first
the book.
exclusive.
Yes, it's exclusive. The name of my 12th book that I'm releasing on April 4th is called F Them Kids. Yes.
So was
Yes. And the subtitle is Not All of Them, Some of Them.
yes.
I'm gonna go in, I went into, um, details, not too many details, because it's not
Yeah.
about criticizing or
Hmm.
shaming.
Hmm.
It's just more about just expressing inner thoughts to so they can be so hopefully like my children would read it and just know what I'm thinking,
Hmm.
and also just get an understanding of my feelings, and why I think this is happening to me.
Yeah.
And it's not all because of our relationship. It's
Hmm.
some things before they was even born is
Mm.
playing a part of why I believe this is happening to me now. And it's also um a lot of space in the book for self-care, and just taking care of yourself,
Hmm.
and identifying some toxic characteristics.
Hmm.
So it's a lot rolled up in there, but
I get
it's
it.
it's all to help, not to like further cause division,
Hmm.
because the virus is one factor as well, you know,
Yeah.
um, that caused some division
Hmm.
between my children. This virus, it impacts every relationship. I'm not going to sugarcoat it and be like,
Hmm.
oh, living with HIV and I'm doing fine, yay. No,
Yeah.
no,
Yeah. Yeah.
no. It definitely causes some embarrassment,
Hmm.
and all type of other feelings
Yeah.
about it, and it does impact the children. So
Wow. That's one thing that I appreciate about you is your realness and your honesty. And a lot of times, how we grow and how we learn and how we understand and get better is having those tough conversations. It's having those real conversations. And it's like you have to go through that darkness to get to that light. And that dark is really dark and it's stumbly and you might fall, you might hurt
mm,
something, and but
yeah.
we have it have to be addressed. It can't be
Mhm,
swept under the rug. And like you were saying, there are things that occurred that affects way before that they would even hear.
mhm,
Like when
yeah.
I wrote my book about my mom, and me and my mom we were just like oil and water. We just didn't mix. And she was hard on me. She was very hard on me. But there's certain things that I didn't understand until she passed. And the things that I understood about her was from her siblings. It was like I was like, well, she's my mother and she should have been perfect and A, B, C, D, but she's a woman too. She's a woman. I didn't see her as a woman. I just saw her as my mom, that she couldn't be anything else. Like she had to be my perfect mother, But it's like as women, we wear that mantle of motherhood, and sometimes we just think it's the be all end all. And being a mother is very important, and it is a blessed, but it is an awesome responsibility. And
Yeah.
every little if your kids, even as adults, if they don't do, if their life is not living the way they want to live it, it's your
Mm-hmm.
fault.
Yes. Yeah.
And it's your fault. And you're like, ah, like you're grown. And it's so weird
Exactly.
because I have conversations with friends that I grew up with, and they say, "Ryan, you're not alone. They going through the they going through the same thing." So I'm looking forward to that, and that's going to be out April 4th. SM
Yes, April
Kids,
Fool's Day.
not all of them, just some of them. I know awareness.com. All right. So all right. So I'm going to put this out there. If you are watching this and you want the first one to reach out to me and tell me the name of the book, send me, put it under my Facebook. I'm going to send you a free copy. I'm going to get some copies. I'm going to send you a free copy. Okay. That's a promise. That's a promise. Wow. So now you did the book. You have all this great advocacy. And another thing that I'm proud of about you is that there was some international health group that even referenced you. So here, it was in somewhere in Asia or Europe or somewhere. It was like they quoted you and used your information as a reference. I was like, look at my girl. You remember that, Sharon? Can you break that down for me? My brain's all over the place.
Vaguely,
Yeah.
it amazed me like how many places you know, you know, my words are in. Because even
Mhm.
as, in some of these books back here,
Yes.
I'm a part of this one, um, this one.
Wow.
um,
This plethora of information and knowledge.
yeah, yeah, and sometimes I'm aware, and sometimes I'm not aware. But I welcome, being included, and
Yes. Yes.
as long as the content is positive and meaningful. And
Hmm.
that's probably why a lot of people haven't heard of me, because I know usually, like, to go trending, it usually has to be something that's, I for you know,
Salacious.
yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But
I
I've been lucky. But not lucky. I say I've been blessed,
hmm
and blessed and highly favored to have my works included in museums, and
Yes.
because this one was part of a museum exhibit, and
Wow.
there's another. It's a few more. I think, yeah, I have one in here. See,
Yeah.
it's this book right here, I believe. It's a big one too. Where this was part of a museum exhibit too. This one,
Wow. Wow. That's
and yeah, this
wonderful.
one was in Brooklyn Museum, and
Wow. That's awesome.
yeah, I'm trying to go through. I don't know what page I'm on, but I know I'm in
It's so
here.
much. It's
Yeah,
so much.
so I really can't keep up, but
Yeah.
I'm
So
just
I don't feel
grateful.
bad that I can't keep up. You can't
Yeah,
keep
you see, I can't really keep up of how we, openly
Yeah.
disclose to each other.
Yes.
I
Yes.
remember our how we met through you sharing that story before, because I
Yeah.
swear I had forgot before.
Yes.
And I'm like, oh yeah, that's how we met.
Yeah.
That's why I like writing too, because I
Yeah.
forget so much.
Yeah.
Like I just
Yeah.
have to write things. And
Mm-hmm.
then when I go back to my writings, I'd be like, wow, I wrote that. I write like that.
Yeah.
Oh, that looks so nice. And I
Yeah.
just love how it looked. It just make me want to continue.
Yeah. One thing I noticed I wanted to ask you, um, you change your updated profile picture. It's a indigenous Native American. Now, can you explain that? I think I know, but I don't want to assume. So tell me, why is that your new profile picture?
Because it's a newfound love and appreciation of awareness that I wasn't privy to.
Mm-hmm.
And even though, I remember my grandmother always saying how when she was younger, all the boys used to like her.
Uh-huh.
She had long, pretty hair
Yeah.
because she has Indian in her family.
Mm-hmm.
And, they used to live oh gosh, sorry. They
Take your time.
on a reserve.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought she was just I didn't really believe her, because we wasn't around them. We just was around, our small group of Brooklyn family. We
Mm-hmm.
never, we had some family in Detroit we used to visit,
Yeah.
but I just wasn't around, any like of the, cultural riches
Yeah. Yeah.
of the Aboriginal people of
Yeah.
America. So as I moved to Georgia
Mm-hmm.
and you know just wanted to get more um, in touch with more like a sense of community and culture
Mm-hmm.
in Atlanta, Georgia, and also my family roots because my mom and my grandmother and her mother and father, they was all born in Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
I came down here, started visiting the library, genealogy department,
Wow.
and just researching and just trying to find out more about my my family
Yeah.
and and also with social media and um with me, I guess
Mm-hmm.
searching online and on social media, the algorithms is putting content creators in my timeline who are covering these topics, and I
Yeah.
just been hearing a lot of information like from like Dane Calloway,
Mm-hmm.
Bobby Hemmett,
Yes.
um, a few other people. I forget their names, but
Yeah.
maybe coming on my screen,
Yeah. Yeah.
and it's some I can't even pronounce their names.
Uh-huh.
They cover like some a lot of history that's not covered, like of course in the schools. This
Yeah.
information is not covered, so I just try to keep the information as close to me as possible because
Yeah.
I love awareness. I just love being aware of a lot of things. So that's
That's
one
for
of the things
sure.
that's close to me right now.
So now with family and genealogy, because that is important, knowing that or having an understanding of it, it helps us understand ourselves a little bit better. Um, were you ever able to catch up with your dad? And I want to get, and just correct me if I'm wrong, Sharon, because my brain is all over the place. My brother loves knowledge just like Sharon does. So my brother, he has all these older black movies and dramas and comedies and Which Way Is Up and Richard Pryor, Bill Cosby, and there's a movie about it's a black movie, a black gang back in the 70s, and there's a main character in the movie who didn't play, who's in the gang, and come to find out that character, he was in the Tomahawks. Actually, but we found what Sharon discovered is her dad. That character is after her father. It's a real
Yeah.
father. So, and last time we talked, you discovered that, but what has been the update since that? Were you able to?
Yeah. Yeah. And I always known who my dad was.
Yeah.
Because my mom did succumb to kidney failure
Mm-hmm.
when I was 12 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And but even before then, she used to take me to my grandmother's house
Mm-hmm.
in Brownsville projects
Mm-hmm.
in Brownsville, Brooklyn. My father was incarcerated at the time, but she used to always take me to my grandmother's house,
Yeah.
and there my uncle lived with my grandmother,
Yeah.
and I got a chance to meet one of my brothers, and then later on in high school, I
Mm-hmm.
met my first sister,
Wow.
and yeah, and my father had three children with her
Mm-hmm.
mother,
Mm-hmm.
and she introduced me to more of my siblings. I met about 50 siblings, and I'm sure there's like 50 more out
And there
there
was one you
that I haven't
introduced me
met.
to. I don't know if you remember when I lived on Phillip Street and you had
Yeah,
met. Yeah, that
yeah,
was
and she
awesome.
lived on Phillip Street too. She lived right
Wow.
across the street.
Wow.
Yeah,
I'm trying to
'cause
remember.
I was living on Phillip Street,
Yes.
and she was
Sharon,
living on
what was
Phillip
the name
Street.
of that movie? I'm trying to look it up.
The education of Sonny Carson.
Yes, The Education of Sonny Carson. So, all black people should watch that movie. Get it, watch it,
Yeah,
watch it.
yeah,
Wow, The Education of
yeah.
Sonny Carson. Thank you
Yeah,
for.
and my father, he came to visit me too, when I was about maybe 9 years
Mhm.
old. Actually, I know I was in third grade.
Yeah.
He came to the apartment and visited me for a day, and he said, he was gonna come back the next day, take me to Coney Island. He did come, but I
Yeah.
didn't want to go, and my mother didn't force me.
Okay.
So I didn't get a chance to see him again after that, but we did keep in touch whenever I would write him a letter, because he served 30 years in jail.
Wow.
And yeah, and he would respond to my letters. His I kept in touch with his mom, my grandmother,
Mhm.
um, visited her a little bit with the same sister that you met. I visited her.
Wow.
Um, so yeah, but my father, he was recently released from prison
Mhm.
about maybe 4 years ago,
Yeah.
maybe. And we have talked on the phone
Hmm.
a few times, and he did say he was going to come visit me at one day, but things
Hmm.
happened that day. He
Yeah.
didn't. But we were in contact, and a sister of mine, one of my sisters, she's working with him um to produce the movie, and I think they're going to be partnering with Mike Tyson, because Mike Tyson's from Brownsville, Brooklyn too. Him and my
Yeah.
father was friends.
Oh
So
wow.
I haven't spoken to anybody. It's been a couple of months since I
Yeah.
spoke to and had any updates about it, but
Yeah.
yeah, I know he was interested in in sharing his story, because yes, he was incarcerated during the filming of
Yeah.
the education of Sonny Carson,
Yeah.
but all the gang members, the women in the men's chapter was in the movie.
Yeah. 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 Wow. So now speaking of movies, what was it like? Because a lot of times people think that things are impossible, they're untouchable. But when you know someone who's done it, that's not that far from you, you be like, it is possible. It is possible. So now,
Yeah.
what was that like? Because you wrote the movie,
Hmm.
you produced the movie, you had a cameo in it, right? Yes, yes. Oh, that's what
Yes.
it is, right?
And
Yes, the Bratways.
yes,
Yes, the Bratways. Shout out to the Bratways. Yes.
yes.
Yes, the Bratways is a wonderful couple that they write movies, produce
Mhm.
movies, and make movies. And they lived in Albany for some time. And the wife, I can't remember, I don't want to jack her name up, Arlene, she had a
Yes.
bookstore. Then they
Yeah.
made some movies, and then they went to Atlanta. And then, oh wow,
Yes.
yeah, and they did that. And I was talking to them at one time. I gotta save up from my budget. They wasn't it was as expensive as people think it is. The price
Right.
they gave me, I just didn't
Mhm.
have it. But that is one of my goals is to have them. I do that. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do. It. I'm going to claim that now. I'm going to make a movie with
Yes,
them.
because
Yeah.
teaming with them
Yes.
makes the process so easy. I
Yeah.
mean, that's and it was just a sign too. Like
Yeah.
working with them is like God sent.
Yeah.
Like it was just the most amazing experience ever.
Yeah.
And I didn't have all the money right away neither,
Yeah.
but I had budgeted with them.
Hmm.
Every month I had a budget set, and every month I had, a scene for the movie set. Sometimes
Wow.
I would, sometimes like we would film, like it was one day about we did about 4 scenes in one day.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
So yeah, so working with them definitely just made it just so possible. Like the idea of it not happening when you work with them, when you team up with them, just like when I teamed up with Ron Canastrani,
Yes. Yes.
you team up with the right people,
Yeah.
it's gonna happen and it's just gonna be so smooth.
Yeah.
And so they just help, every step of the way. Because even though I had the movie written already,
Hmm.
I I still like gave them the credit of they still like assisted
Hmm.
like as like a script supervisor in a way,
Yeah.
because as
Yeah.
I talked to him about the scene, um he was able to say like, hey, you're gonna need a buffer in between that to switch to the next scene. So
Okay.
he helped me, bring it together so it could be, seamless.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And
And
he helped too with the actors,
yeah. Yeah.
because for me, like, I'm not a pushy person. You know how like you may see on TV and they be like the director or the producer be like, do this, do that, like like how they be
Yeah.
on the set, like
Yeah.
quiet on the set, like, or
Yeah.
I'm like, I was just grateful for
Yes.
everyone. Where I
Yes.
didn't really like tell somebody like, oh, don't do that, do this, and da da
Yeah.
da da. But both of them do a great job and like coaching
Hmm.
the actors to a degree, because I express the emotions like when in the writing I say, because it's based off of me, so
Yeah.
I'm just expressing to them like, okay, when I say this is how I'm feeling. This is
Mhm.
the face that I had.
Yeah.
So I had those things, written, and they do have some screenwriter apps where, all those details is put in there.
Wow.
But he did a great job in, like, talking with the actors and actresses on, certain things, or,
Mhm.
a body posture, or
Wow.
and he was just fun as well. Like, it was so much fun. Like,
Yeah.
is no one that there was no times where people just was like burnt out or upset or
Yeah.
arguing. It was just fun. We was getting it done.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was
Wow.
a great team. I highly recommend them. And they done, like you said, so many films. They have
Yeah.
so many films, and they had opened one of their films at the Palace in
Yes.
Albany.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My cousin was in that one. And ladies and gentlemen, Chiron, one of the services that she does provide is assistance with writing scripts, movie producing. So if
Yeah.
you need that, want some consultations with that, I know awareness.com.
Yes, I would love
Don't
to help
hesitate.
anyone.
You were meant to hear this and watch this. The time is now. The time is now. Well, Sharon, I don't know if you remember this, but there is an anniversary that is this weekend. And I'm gonna let you get one guess and let me see if you remember what the anniversary is for us.
For us, anniversary for us.
Yep, it's a special anniversary.
Oh, okay, I know, because we both was diagnosed in 2001. I mean,
That's good. I didn't
2002.
think that one. That's good. It's actually caucus weekend. The National
Oh, yes.
Puerto Rican and Black and
You
Puerto
know what?
Rican legislatures.
I was really thinking about that,
Yes,
but I
yes,
didn't want to
yes.
say
Yes,
that.
we
I
had
was thinking
so
about that, but
much
I did not
fun.
want to say it. I said, let me
Yeah.
think about something else, but that was on my mind. Yes, that was,
I almost had a
yes,
caucus baby.
February. Yes, February was a great time in
Yeah.
Albany, Georgia, for the Black and Puerto Rican um caucus.
Yes, yes,
And
yes,
it's
yes.
not that much entertainment
Yeah.
in Albany. They
Mm-hmm.
had a few places here and there that would
Mm-hmm.
close down, and a new place would arise, and that would slowly decline. And
Yeah.
but that was something that was always coming,
Mm-hmm.
and it was a fun time. and
Sometimes.
and at that time, I never experienced any of the meetings and the conferences like I do. I'm not gonna say now, because it's been about 3 years
Mm-hmm.
since I attended like a conference,
Mm-hmm.
or symposium, and things like that.
Yeah.
But back then, I really enjoyed the parties that they had,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
after parties.
It was fun and educational. And I remember one year because they have the hotel and all these different blacks in New York State government, they all have parties. And I remember looking to the side and like there was the Lieutenant Governor David Patterson. It just was like,
Yeah,
so I was like, wow. So you had the professional part and then you had the party part. Either
yes,
way, you got some knowledge, some education, and it was great for
yeah,
networking. Great for networking.
yeah, it was. And I bet, the ABC crew, I know they be partying it up.
Who's the ABC? The
A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, stop.
yes, that's true. That's true. That's true.
Yeah, I bet they be partying it up
Yes, they
everywhere,
do. It's
everywhere.
my favorite spot. I do, and I might go tonight. I don't know, depending on how long we talk. But I get my karaoke on right at Rocks.
Oh yeah,
Ain't got to
I
worry
used to
about
go there
nobody.
all the time. And then
Yeah,
the one across
nobody
the
hitting
street,
on me. Them men
it's
don't
still
want me.
there?
Say that again.
The one that's directly across the street from the rocks.
Yep. That's the not. I was gonna say the silver slipper. The what's the name of that one? I see the picture. Oh my god, I can't recall. It's at the tip of my tongue.
Yeah, because I
But
used to
that
go
one
to
across the
both
street,
back
across
and
the
forth,
street
back
from.
to
Yeah,
hmm.
it's always
Yeah.
this week.
There
This is
was
a good
some
weekend to
good
party.
time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I used to be out there with my best friend,
Yeah.
um, Bright Roberts,
Yeah.
Nevin, who's I think he's serving life in jail right now for killing someone. I think he stabbed someone in the neck and they
Yeah.
died.
Yeah.
And that was my best friend.
Bright was something else.
Yeah,
It
so he
was
was,
fun. One thing I remember about Bright was his tattoos, and he had a tattoo of all his nieces and nephews. I said, "So if you have another nephew, you gonna get another tattoo?" He was like, "Yep." He was he was covered all over, and he fit his name Bright. He's so bright,
yes,
so
so
bright.
bright,
Yes,
so
so
bright.
bright.
Oh my God.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes. Wow, bright.
yeah. I had some nice time in rocks too, even with my sister and
Yeah,
her peoples, you know, like I'm no stranger to the alphabet crew. Like
yes,
way
yes.
before the social media thing, way
Hmm.
before the social media thing, way
Exactly.
before people have been forced
Hmm.
to, you know, to pledge allegiance. Like I
Hmm.
had genuine connections with people, no matter their sexuality. Like I have especially in Albany, New York, or in being,
Hmm.
in the HIV community, like you're
Yeah,
surrounded by people who are part of the LGBTQ community.
yeah,
So I have had the best experiences with gay, transgender people, and I enjoy their parties, and I enjoy Caribbean parties as well.
yes,
My
yes.
thing.
Yes, and it's so true that you say that because I was kind of not to put one group above or another. I'm just going to just tell my truth and live my experience, tell my lived experience. When I found out I was positive, I was deep, deep, deep into the church, but it wasn't the church community that brought me out of that darkness. It was the LGBT, the alphabet, and it was the recovery community, the people recovering from alcohol and drugs. Those two communities, and because they fought for me, I decided to fight for myself. But so I definitely hear you. I can definitely relate to that.
Yeah.
Definitely, definitely, definitely. You was gonna say something?
Yeah, I was gonna say, and I'm not gonna, ain't no shame in my game. I had some great, even romantic partners
Hmm.
with, there's one very, very, very nice, handsome, very sweet, considerate, um, bisexual man,
Hmm.
you know, like you know, when the chemistry is right, and you know that's all that matters to me,
Yeah,
pretty much. I am a straight woman. I have
yeah,
a straight past,
yes,
present, and I see my future being straight.
yeah.
But I did have some nice romantic relationships with men,
Hmm.
you know, that were bisexual.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, wow. One of the questions of the month for the HIV stops with me was do you feel, oh, because if a person is undetectable, which also means they're untransmittable, are they still obligated to give their status to people that they were dating? And that's one thing that I thought of as you were saying that. Um and Well, first I'll ask you, what do you think about it? And then I'll tell you how I answered.
Well, I think, there's no one size fit all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There's not.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to answer no question trying to appease the masses and comfort them.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, you just be realistic. Like, we all know the answer.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's it's not a one size fit all. It's
Yeah.
nothing. It's not like,
Yeah. You're right. You're right. And that's basically what I said to my answer, was
yeah.
that people understanding this disease and how it affects your body and how it affects your life and how you accept yourself. It comes in waves and in stages, and you grow with it. And the more comfortable you are, the more you're able to reveal yourself and understand yourself. And a person has to be at a certain point or certain level to feel that they feel safe enough to disclose to someone, which was basically what I said. And everyone has their own journey that they have to take within their life. We're all responsible for our own journey. And I can't tell you how to live yours. You can't tell me how to live mine. We all doing the best we can with what we got,
Yeah,
you know? Yep. Definitely,
I
definitely.
agree. That's how I feel about
Wow.
it.
Yeah. So what you got? What's going on? What you got going on lately, Sharon? At my notes here. Because you got a lot. Like you said, we can't even keep up. All right. So
Yeah.
one of the
Yeah.
services, you said you have something coming up in,
Next Saturday.
yes, what's going on next Saturday?
Yeah, next Saturday, I'll be participating as a local author at a public library. And this is something I've done before
Mhm.
in different counties, because they usually have like they usually have a space where, self-publishers and independent writers can sell their books at the
Mhm.
library.
Wow.
So, do they do that out there?
I haven't, but my hometown, with my hometown where I'm from, they had a book fair, and they invited local authors, and they purchased all the authors. They bought like 20 of my books. Yeah,
Oh,
and
that's
my book is in. I'm
wonderful.
proud of. It's in my hometown children's library in Roosevelt, New York. But they, for some reason, Albany no, but on Long Island, yeah, yeah,
I think I do remember watching a video with you. I think you were at a library or a
yeah,
bookstore.
yeah. And Roosevelt, I was
Okay.
so proud, so proud, so
Yeah.
proud. That's a tough town, Jack. A tough
Yeah.
town. Ooh, that's a tough town. The girls trying to
Yeah.
jump me, Sharon. They couldn't catch my ass.
Yeah.
Party boyfriend.
And that's something I'm learning too. I'm learning about the President Roosevelt, because
Yeah.
based off of ancestry, like the president, Theodore Roosevelt, is my great grandfather, mother, fifth cousin.
Wow.
Yeah, so I've been looking into
Wow.
Roosevelt and Roosevelt Island, and thinking about you. And I
Wow.
used to take my friend from East New York, Brooklyn.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Look, I got something to show you.
I'm like,
Something else I'm doing. I be participating in research studies, and
yes. Yeah, you do that
this
too.
is just flashing. It's gonna flash again, but I don't usually take my medications on video, like, but I'm gonna do it now.
Okay. Now that's empowerment right there. Ain't get no better than that. This is not rehearsed, ladies and gentlemen. This is pure authenticity. I got exclusive.
Yeah.
I got meds taken. Take. I feel like Club Shay Shay and Cat Williams and Monique. I'm getting it all. I'm getting it all. This is a first, ladies and gentlemen. That's
Yeah.
that's how it is. That's life. Life is real. Like
Yes,
this.
and
There it
this
is.
probably be coming. You might see this somewhere. I
Yeah.
don't know, maybe a parole officer or yeah, a hearings officer,
Yeah.
somebody
Yeah.
might start handing these out.
Yeah. And that's
Or
another
maybe
thing too, Chevron. You
people
just
with
don't have any.
dementia, you know.
You'll be doing these clinical trials and stuff, and I'm like, oh my God, you just all in. You don't have
They pay, and I be needing the money.
you don't do
I got
nothing halfway.
responsibilities.
Yes. You don't do nothing halfway. You get it done. All right. So we talked about this on the phone before, but the audience can know, what was it like? How did you meet Candy Burris, and what was that experience like?
Yeah, well, she was a panelist at a prep summit, and like Bernadette hinted to, as far as the medications, helping people achieve an undetectable viral load so they cannot transmit HIV. PrEP does the same thing, for people that's negative. They
Mm-hmm.
can take this medicine to, prevent the transmission of HIV to them.
Mm-hmm.
So she was at the PrEP summit as a speaker,
Mm-hmm.
and I spotted her when she was going in. Like,
Yeah.
I was pulling in at the same time as she was pulling in, and I told my daughter, like, oh, because I recognized her truck from I used to watch Atlanta Housewives back
Mm-hmm.
then,
Yeah.
and she had, I forget the name of those trucks, but it's shaped like it might be a Land Rover, like the
Mm-hmm.
square, like a army vehicle.
Okay, got you.
So I seen the vehicle, and I'm like, oh, that's the person, because I already knew I wanted to take a picture with her. I knew
Yeah,
she was going to be
yeah,
the one to take a picture with her in my book. I'm like telling my daughter, like, okay, that's her. That's the person I want to take the picture with. As soon as I park, be ready to get out the car, because I didn't know when I was going to get a chance to be close to her. I was
yeah,
going
yeah,
for that moment.
yeah.
So it was raining that day too. I had to like pop open the umbrella, da da da. But when we made it inside, like she went like a different way,
Uh-huh.
and like they like whisked her off like to this door on the side.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't get a moment with her then,
Mm-hmm.
but um there was a moment where she was like near the banner,
Mm-hmm.
and I had just hosted a lunch and learn
Mm.
at her restaurant
Oh
with
wow.
Gilead and a pharmaceutical representative, Ed Duda, and I wrote a blog on it. I used to write blogs on just about all the activities that I was doing at that time,
Yeah.
and he was there as well, because
Mm-hmm.
they were sponsoring a lot of community engagement
Wow.
activities.
Okay.
So me and him was like side by side after we just had this event at her restaurant. And I was telling him too, like, yeah, I like to get a picture with her. And he was like, yeah, like, go ahead. And I felt confident enough
Yeah.
to go to her, because, we just spent probably $1,000 at the restaurant. So I already at least had an opener,
Yes.
as far as convincing her to allow me to take a picture with her. And then I had my books,
Yeah.
you know, right there front and center.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm here for the cause. I'm not
Yes. Yes.
here just as a attendee. I'm
Mm-hmm.
really indebted in this work.
Yeah.
So um, I just, yeah, moseyed myself on next to her, and just introduced, Ed Duda too, and just told her that we just had a luncheon at a lunch and learn at her restaurant, which I had a picture. I took a
Mm-hmm.
picture with her husband. He was at the restaurant.
Yeah.
Um, when we had the lunch and learn. I got pictures, of the lunch and learn.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, so after the icebreaker, I
Yeah.
had the books, out and out ready to take the picture with her. And I also had gave her assistant, I
Mm-hmm.
forgot his name, but I think he's still her assistant, excuse me, um, a, a proof copy of the
Oh,
activity book that I
okay.
was working on, because the question was raised on, like, how do we talk to our youth
Mm.
about HIV?
Yeah.
And how I approach the youth is just by talking to them, um, presenting HIV as a health condition.
Yeah.
You First and foremost,
Those are her books, ladies and gentlemen. Yes. Language
yeah,
is art.
yeah,
Yes. Yeah.
just presenting it to them like, this is a health condition,
Mm-hmm.
and just explaining, many people live with medical conditions,
Mm-hmm.
and to be compassionate,
Yes.
for people who are experiencing medical conditions. Like,
Yes.
that's the start.
Mm-hmm.
And once you start there in a compassionate, respectful tone, and you
Yeah.
just continue the conversation in that tone.
Yeah. Yeah. And your experience, Sharon, what is the one of the biggest misconceptions about living with HIV?
I think the biggest misconception is, like, people act like I'm not personal, but like as if people live with HIV, like we created this thing,
Mm,
like it's our fault
mm,
that it's here.
yeah.
Like, I think it's just too much blame,
Mm-hmm.
um, put on people living with HIV.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yep. I agree with you. I agree with you. Um, as far as because I know you dipped and dabbled with the in the political arena too. Um, do you think I don't want to I'm trying not for it to be a yes or no. What's your take on how how the healthcare system is addressing HIV as far as the government? You feel they could do more? Is it just where it's supposed to be, or
Based off of my experiences,
mm-hmm,
I just I could just tell you this. Last week, I finally made it down to my doctor's office. I did miss two appointments,
mm-hmm,
which I rarely miss appointments,
yeah,
but I did. And when I got there, I had to re-enroll.
no,
Like, they really, like, took me out of care, and their whole, you know, the what I was told was that's their way to get people in care by kicking them out of care. And I just, mentioned to the woman, um, that's just creating another barrier to care.
yeah, yeah,
You totally withdrew me out of care. Like,
wow,
that, not gonna,
it sounds
encourage
punitive.
it.
Sounds
Yeah,
punitive. Yeah, wow,
yeah,
interesting, interesting, interesting.
yeah,
I had
yeah.
this was probably maybe last year. Um, I did some entrepreneur event. I kind of just talked about my business and living with HIV. and it was among some teenagers. Some they were in a mentoring program. And when I said I've been living with HIV for over 20 years, the young man said, "What's HIV?" And I was flabbergasted. Oh, I gotta come back. And then I had, I explained it, but it boggled my mind that he was probably about 17. Most of they were older teens, but he didn't know. He didn't know. That kind of shocked me because I know even it was it education to me, it was crammed everywhere, in my opinion. It was so I don't know
Yeah.
if that's maybe just a one-off thing and I can't judge everything from that, but it really took me by surprise for a young man to not know what HIV is in high school. Yeah,
Right. Yeah,
definitely.
because even for me, it was crammed, in my face
Hmm.
indirectly as a youth. Because I remember posters,
Yes. Yeah.
some of the most horrible posters, like
Yeah.
the worst, the worst.
Kind
Like,
of like with the cancer, remember the cancer, don't use drugs and
yeah,
don't smoke cigarettes.
yeah,
Or your lungs
yeah.
are gonna you have to talk like this. So Sharon, I'm gonna switch it up a little bit. You wrote
Mhm.
one of the topics that you write about or wrote about or continue to write about is dating with HIV. Are you dating now?
Yeah,
Dating
yeah,
while living with HIV.
yeah, yeah. I am kind of dating right now.
Yeah.
And I do talk about like my dating life in Albany in here.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, I talk about my dating life in Brooklyn, Albany, and Georgia. So
Yes. Yes.
it's very different.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm kind of dating right now, but
Uh-huh.
I'm single.
Mm-hmm.
But single, like single don't mean like I don't talk to anyone or I don't have anyone.
Yeah.
But with Valentine's Day just passed by, you
Yeah.
know, I got a few texts
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and I sent a few texts.
Yes. Now you used to have the advocacy where you sent Valentine's to the prisons. You still do that? Or was the last time you did?
No,
Mm,
no.
mm.
And I had teamed up with this organization too. They sent Christmas cards to the prisons
Yeah.
as well. But yeah, I haven't done anything like that in
Yeah.
a very long time. But I have started editing books
Hmm.
with the publisher Unique Presents in Chicago, Shatavia Kennedy. She's the owner. And the
Wow.
first books that we started publishing were people that are in prison. So
Mm.
like the first three books,
Yeah.
yeah,
Wow.
yeah. But
Wow.
I'm yeah. As far as the dating part, I know dating is tough for everyone. I
Yeah.
speak to some of my friends that's not living with this medical condition,
Yeah.
and they're not even they're not dating at all.
Yeah.
And some of them is waiting for like their children to graduate high school before they date. They're just like focused on working,
Mm.
providing for their household, keeping their household safe, keeping
Wow.
their children safe.
Yeah.
And that's
Wow.
my biggest thing, to protect my children.
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
dating is definitely um it's not as active
Hmm.
as my dating life is very almost non-existent, but
Yeah.
I am on like the HIV dating websites.
Yeah.
So sometimes sometimes a conversation would arise, but sometimes it's just one conversation.
Yeah,
Rarely
yeah.
I speak with someone
Hmm.
more than 2 or 3 times.
Yeah.
And usually if I do, it's like over like months. Like
Hmm.
it'll be someone I met like 4 years ago, but they just continue to, re-engage like maybe twice a year.
Mm. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I tell you, I got a couple of friends, but I'm dating myself right now. I'm trying to just envelop and just learn more about myself and learn to appreciate myself. And so I know how to I want to treat myself how I expect others to treat me. I don't feel that I can ask for somebody to do something for me that I can't do for myself. So I'm really trying to hone in on that, really trying to hone in on that. But it could be a struggle. It could be a struggle. It could be a struggle. So, is
Yeah.
there anything that we did not discuss, or anything you want to add that's super important, or anything you want to ask me? Anything?
Well, yeah.
I'm listening.
um, I just really appreciate this moment. I wasn't sure how it would be. Hopefully it was great.
It
I've been
was.
looking forward to us, openly chit-chatting and, openly expressing our own experiences. So I just I'm just very excited about our talk
Yeah,
and look forward to some more talks.
definitely, definitely, definitely. And I
Yeah.
want to thank you again because it was you who, when I, the spokesmodel thing, the HIV stops with me. It was the someone reached out to you on your social, and then I saw it on your social, and I hopped right on it, and it's been a ride ever, an exciting ride. I would tell you that you mentioned the center, the Albany Damien Center, which is a community center for people living with HIV. It's a lot of people, Sharon. And you would think with this living with this condition, we got to fight for our health. And, it was happening where it seemed like it was every 6 months, all the members were dying. And some of them, they would like every 6 months, you come back and it wasn't health per se, it was the drugs. They were ODing. So it's like, and so it was a lot of unhealthy. It wasn't the best environment for me, but I found myself just kind of clinging on and holding on to it. And God was basically telling me to like broaden my horizons. That, sometimes people, it's just a fact, sometimes we just outgrow people and we outgrow our group. But I held on and I continued to hold on to this center, although it kind of brought me a lot of sadness. But
Mhm.
since doing the HIV Stops With Me campaign that you posted and then I answered and then everything worked out, I have like a new community of healthy people that are living with HIV. And I want to thank you for that. I want to thank you for that because
Well, that's
I have a
wonderful.
new community. I do. I
And
do.
I thank you for applying because in that group, the I Know Awareness group, when I started that group, it was for sharing information.
Mm,
And it was a point where other people would, even today I did see someone share some information today, someone from Washington. He shared some information in there today.
yeah.
But it was a place for sharing because there's a lot of resources, a lot of campaigns, it's a lot of things for us to connect with.
Yeah.
And and it's great that um it's being used, and it's not in vain. And
Yeah.
I was just in the group today because I was looking for some more paid research studies,
Yeah.
because I have shared some links, and some things is ongoing.
Mm-hmm.
So I was just searching the word paid in the group search bar, and
Yeah.
that your so because I was sharing,
Mm-hmm.
I've been sharing like research um opportunities for a little while now recently.
Yeah.
So yeah, and that post came up too, where you had inquired as well, if the opportunity is paying.
Yeah.
And I click on that. I had to
Yeah.
re-click on that because I have a new account now,
Yeah.
because it's very important. And and now, like, trending is the comedian Monique, and she's speaking on not being paid,
Mm-hmm.
um
Yep.
the the amount that she deemed fit
Mm-hmm.
for her services.
Yep.
And that has been the case even in HIV advocacy.
Yeah.
There's a lot of money going around,
Mm-hmm.
but when it comes to us Black women,
Mm-hmm.
like, we're at the bottom of the barrel,
Yeah.
you know. And
Yep.
when it comes to us straight Black women, I
Mm-hmm.
should rephrase, because it's really not many straight Black men at all that's involved.
Yeah.
It's us straight women who are at the bottom of the barrel
Mm-hmm.
and are asked to do volunteer work. We're asked to lend our faces,
Yeah.
be part of organizations, but they to lend our either smiley face
Mm-hmm.
and show their organization as a fun, uplifting place,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
or to
So they can
share
look
our.
diverse and
Yeah,
inclusive. Yeah.
yeah, yes.
Yep.
And no, we not inclusive as far as them checks. We not
Yeah.
inclusive in that. Or to send our most beat up face, that face where you just down and out, and
Mm-hmm.
oh, uh you know the victimization, you
Mm-hmm.
know
Yeah.
face.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly. Yeah.
yeah.
There was a
So that's
situation I had I was with this agency for many years, just volunteering, learning. I was a sponge, learning as much as I can. And I did learn a lot. And
mhm,
an opportunity came up where I could have been the executive director. And my interview, I did interview, but it wasn't even taken seriously. It wasn't
mm,
even taken seriously. And then that's kind of like that was one of the light bulb moments. Because I had
mm,
when I started speaking, I spoke for an organization for free, and I saw the checks that they was writing and the money that they was giving of the words that I said never again for free, never
yeah,
again, never
yeah,
again. Yeah, they put me in a little cute hotel that I said,
mhm,
no. I'm fat. We sometimes we don't. We want to be humble and we want to be, we want to give and we want to serve. But the best thing that we can do for ourselves is serve and honor ourselves first and our gifts. These are gifts and they're not to be used or pimped by anybody else. It's to benefit us first.
yeah, yeah,
So I definitely, yeah. And we're the most educated. We spend all that money going to them schools and all of Sally Mae pimping us and
yeah.
still. So I concur. Sharon, I'll be talking to you all night long if I don't get off, this video recorded. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Miss B, the goddess of empathy. This is my friend Sharon Jones. She is the CEO of I Know Awareness. She is an author, a screenwriter, an entrepreneur, a businesswoman, an HIV advocate, a mom, and a great friend. She's so many things, I can't even get it all out. If you need some assistance or want some assistance about writing a book, writing a screenplay, producing a movie, HIV advocacy, she has a plethora of knowledge and information, and she got it done. And she just reach out to her. iknowareness.com. Sharon, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Anything else you want to say? Because I don't want to start again. Then we go another half hour.
I just want to thank you again,
Yes,
and I wish you, well with your business. I
yes,
look forward to a consultation
yes.
with
That's what we're going to
that.
make an appointment. Yes, yes. We're going to definitely do that. Definitely do that. All right, beautiful people. We're going to sign off. All right, Sharon, say bye. I'm going to
Bye.
send you another link in about 2 minutes.
Okay.
Bye, beautiful people.